thoughts on the match today?
I think it was a great team performance. Again, a very matured performance. Could have had multiple goals. Kept a clean sheet, which is very important. Build the confidence, and the boys uh, worked their socks off. Challenged them regarding making it a game against them versus themselves, and they responded very well to it. And we have one foot in, but we're not satisfied. We gotta keep going because there's another game next week.
This back-to-back weeks, you've kind of used the word mature to describe your team and the way it handled the adversity in this game and the last one. How proud are you of that development within your group?
Well, again, we're not done yet, but obviously, from where we started to where we are now, again, it's a process that we built with the boys, and what you need in that process is adversity, resilience, character, and they've shown it from day one, and they keep showing it constantly. So it's about guiding them, but also what I mean with me, with us, the technical staff, the players, the whole club, we hold ourselves to a high standard and hold each other accountable and challenge each other, and that will help us grow in the process. That's why we are where we are now.
We've seen the last couple of weeks, obviously, the shift to the back three,
Mhm.
but not just in terms of the positioning. It seems like we've also seen a little bit of a shift in some of the principles of this team. A lot of more direct play than we've seen for a lot of 2025.
Mhm.
Was there a moment for you where it sort of clicked that maybe some of the principles needed to shift to be a bit more pragmatic? Or what was that like? Can you take us
No,
through that
we,
process?
we haven't shifted in any principles, but it's what you play, what the game's required. That is a different thing. Our principle remains the same. We want to be on the front foot. We want to attack. We want to defend. But the game changes, and you have to be adaptable to what the game gives you. And we playing what the game gives us. You know, and sometimes yes, we overplay, but also now you're seeing it back to back. We're telling opposition, all right, beat us. In the beginning, we beat ourselves. Now opposition are trying to beat us, and you can see the difference.
Are these games changing now because of the time of the season in your mind of where we're at? That's why the games are a little more
Well,
about the
obviously, when you're
expectation.
when you're at the end of the season, games are always going to be demanding because it is a very tight race in the Western Conference. Every point matter, every game matter, every 90 minutes matter. At the end of the day, for us is we are doing things that we know is best suited also for the players. And also they are comfortable in what we're doing. They trust what we're doing with them, and we trust them to do it. And at the end of the day, what is the most important thing? Is that they reward themselves, which most part of the season we can say we haven't, but they're rewarding themselves, and that's why it's rewarding for us as a coaching staff to see them reward themselves. And that is the biggest thing that you have because right now it's the best time of the season.
When you say adapting to what the game is giving you in terms of how you're approaching these matches, what is the balance in that then between it being what you have at your disposal in terms of your own squad and what you're expecting to see from the opposing team?
Well, obviously you look at it and go, okay, to your point, what do we have in our disposal? And if we have what we want to do is not there, but we have something else that we know can work because of the type of versatility that we have in our players, then it's for us to adapt, and it's for them explaining them the whys and the hows, and then we trust that they will do it. And you look at, is it best suited to what we have at this moment? Yes. Can it change next week? Can. But you look at it and go, okay, this is what we have and this is what is needed. Then you do it, and that is also very important because again, it's not about systems, it's about principles of play. Start formation is start formation, but the principle play and the movements are different, and that changes the whole 90 minutes. There's nobody that is playing strictly one system. But we adapt. After 10 15 minutes, we got a goal. After 30 minutes, we adapted. We adapted to a different formation, you can see. And still when you don't have it is what opposition have to score. And I think we defended fantastically, right? From Hope, Charlie, DJ setting the tone to our two midfielders, Noble, who who at the last minute has to come in and jump in for Rafa because he's sick, and it's been like seamless. Like Carl goes in the middle, and that's when you talk about your adaptation. There's your adaptation.
Oh, you spoke about that adaptation, and obviously what we saw tonight were the wingbacks, Smith, Flores, they were kind of pushing upwards, and then, unfortunately they go down, Flood and Rizzo come on, and then nearing the end of that, nearing the end of the game, kind of drop back. What was, did you feel like pushing those guys forward, that created more chances for you guys up top?
I think we created when they went out more chances, but what we have with those two is we know they are vertical, they're direct, they're good on the ball, and it's sad to lose them both, but it's part of the football. That's why you have a team. And two players showed up. Ryan showed up because it means a lot for him being part of this club, having not always played minutes, but it was good for him to get minutes, and he showed up. Rizzo the same, showed up, and that's what you need. We need a team. Right, it's not about the first 11 that start, because if you look at it, the first 11 that started of the season isn't the same 11 that is playing now. And if you look at our game against San Antonio in April, there was maybe one starter.
And then earlier you mentioned how important every game is right now, but especially this one may have had a little bit something more. Last regular season home game, you send the fans away with a smile. What does that mean to you, the club, the players, the fans? Just what does it mean?
Nah, it means, listen, when you have your last home game, it's amazing because you want to thank the fans, and we're not done yet, right? We still got one game to go where maybe we can get more, hopefully if it goes our way, games at home again. But the regular season, finishing off with a victory for them going home is fantastic for our fans because they've supported the whole season, especially at home, which is not have been nice to us, but it's starting to get nice to us, it seems like. But the support has been magnificent, and especially you look at it at the rain game, they came in with 45 seconds in, we down, 20 minutes in with 3-0 down, but they keep hanging, and they leave with us, and we're very proud to have fans like this that care deeply, that wants this club to go to do fantastically and do well, So for us, it means a lot, and we're truly appreciative of their support.
And maybe a chance that you get to give them one more home game after the result today. When you look towards next week, how much do you think you'll be focused on the game that your team is playing, and maybe when it comes to it, final 10, 15 minutes of that one, depending on how that's going, will you look around the league and see where your other teams are falling to maybe dictate where you guys fall?
I'm not wired like that because it doesn't matter. For me, the most important thing is what we do. I'm not wired to sit and listen to what's going to happen because that's out of my control. The only control that we have is tomorrow off, and we start back on Monday, because the only thing that matters is what we're going to do against Riverhounds. I cannot sit and think about what's going to happen in other games because that takes my focus away from my team.
Do you have any sort of injury update on Colin and Danny?
Well, they are being checked right now as we speak, so I will probably receive an update tomorrow.
Okay. And then I also wanted to ask about Hope playing up top through the middle.
Yeah.
Saw it obviously last week as well. We've seen it in bits and spurts throughout this season.
Yeah.
What is it that you think makes him so effective in that role versus playing underneath a 9? How is he able to play up top by himself so effectively?
Well, because Hope is a very intelligent footballer, and he always want to be on the front foot and press. But what also is that we can see the other side of his game, which is also a strong hold-up play. Now drifting around where he can drift and be very effective in a play, but as well as also the other side of the game that maybe people may not always see in him, which is the defensive side. And I think that he showed it spurt throughout the season, but you can see in the last 2 games he's been tremendous in that, and he's setting the tone, and that's what you want and need when you have one of your best players performing like this. Everybody else follow.
Paul, when Noah was talking a little bit earlier about the match, he made a point to say that Jean made his job really easy tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's maybe adapting quicker than you could have anticipated?
Yeah, he has definitely adapted very well in the group. He's a beautiful soul and a beautiful character. He's competitive with everything, and for him, it's it's wonderful to have these type of players, that ooze that positivity around the group and pushes himself, pushes the rest around it. And for the past couple of days, we've been having a bet with him about scoring goals, and I almost lost $1,000 if he'd have scored that goal. But it would have been worth it because it would have been very deservedly. But obviously he's the type of guy that brings a lot of energy and a lot of joy. And when he step on the field, there's only one thing that matters to him is winning for the badge. And people like this, obviously, when they're around you, they make your job easy. But also, Noble made job together. They made the job also for our backline very easy. But our backline also was massive. To keep a clean sheet, that is also very important. Pap has come in the squad. Done fantastically. Carl was top. Senga, and so everybody deserves credit. Charlie come again up with the goal. Should I have one more? But again, he's been on a tear, and he got to continue.
Going back to Ryan's question on other games, is it an advantage then, do you think, that you're kicking off before everyone else, and so that noise is kind of all off to the side? You won't know any other results anyway.
Are we kicking off before them?
You're kicking off before the next one that's relevant.
So it's not like a proper. It's not a proper D-Day where everybody kick off the same time.
It goes
No.
all night. Orange County kick off 3 hours after you, so.
Because they're playing at home. Okay. No, for us, listen. You control your own destiny, and when you control your own destiny, it's the best, right? It is in our hands, so we control our destiny, and that's what you wish and hope for. When you have to wait for other teams to help you, the football gods are not always. They're not always going to do that for you. But what the football gods ask you always is, when you do the basic and the right thing, 9 out of 10, you get what you deserve. So we control it, and we got to keep controlling it. And like you say, if we do what we're supposed to do, then I can sit and look at the result after that, Ryan. But before that, I can't focus on what other teams are doing.
There's a moment at the end of the match in the South End with all the Bandidos, with you and your team, and there's been, lots of criticism, I think, from everybody around the team, as much as there's been a lot of support for the group. But to see that at the end of that match, and kind of maybe at the end of the season on Fan Appreciation Night, what does that tell you about everything that you've worked for this club to try and for this squad to kind of have that moment with the fans?
No, it's not about me. It's about we. It's about what we do as a whole, as a club. From the front office, from ticketing, everybody from the front office to the players. At the first day, Bobby showed the presentation about what this club is about and what we want to be. And with that also includes our fans. And football is an emotional sport. And for me, yes, I'm a very emotional guy. I wear my heart out on the sleeve. But as a whole, together as a club, we know that it's going to be ups and downs. But the biggest thing that we have as a club is we are aligned in the things that we want to achieve, together with the fans as well, because they have the right. They love this club, they care about this club, and they know that it's a club that demands a lot. So that is fantastic. That's what you want. You want to be in a place where there's demands, there's accountability, to show up. And we keep showing up, and to have this beautiful moment with them, like you say, with all the ups and downs we have had this year. The biggest thing is the boys never wavered. The boys stood it through thick and thin, and they keep fighting, and that's why it makes it so special that you, after the last game, clean sheet, you win, and you can celebrate with your fans. But we are not done yet.